you talk about a guy who knew how to win and compete. And he wasn't the fastest, but people couldn't catch him. He wasn't the slipperiest, but it was hard to put a hand on him. And the guy could do it all. He could throw it, he could run it, he could catch it, he could jump it. And at the end of the day, he had the heart. He had a heart about the size of Texas. But nothing about that guy would say follow. Everything about that cat there, man, was lead. He was going to always be in front, going to always be in the front of the line. Marcus Allen is the only running back I've ever been on the football field with in practice that if we stand on our own 20, you hand it to him, that cat went 80 yards. Every time he touched it, he went 80 yards in practice. He ran 80 yards to the other end zone and came back. And then one day I was like, hey, man, you're going to get tired, man. You're going to get tired. Why the hell are you doing that? He said, we out here trying to score, ain't we? Yeah, my body got to get used to scoring. And I don't care. We could be on hour 20, hour 30. That cat ran it all the way to the end zone. And he told you why. My body got to get used to scoring.
That's man. Hey, but you know what, Coach? You've been around so many greats. Like I'm sure you've seen that from a few the greats. Like somebody said, like the difference between people who are good and people who are great is the greats just do it more often. They just do it with more discipline. Like they have that mindset that I want to get used to touching the end zone. I need my fellow players to see me touch the end zone. Let them touch the end zone, and that's what we'll do in the games.
No question. Absolutely. But tell the guy who asked that question, I will also say, and I've said it on TV, of my 15 years or whatever when I was with the Raiders and my 45 years in the NFL, I believe in my heart Marcus Allen is the greatest player to ever wear silver and black. He's the greatest football player, the greatest football player I know that has ever worn the Raiders silver and black.
All right, Coach. Wow. That's a big statement. I want you to be brief about this. I want to ask you about my favorite running back, but Miami Dolphins, Don Shula. How was it playing for Don Shula? Was like, I know John Madden, that's no bigger than that. And then you have another legend with Don Shula. Like, how was he? Was he cool?
Coach Shula was a football coach. John Madden was a teacher. John Madden was a school teacher. You know what I mean? A math teacher. John Madden was in the class. John was going to teach you. He was going to lead you by the hand. He's going to show you. He's going to rub you on your shoulder. John's going to take you to his house for lunch. You know what I mean? He's constantly talking about love and teaching techniques and, do this way, do that way. Coach Shula walk around every day with a whipping chain. He out there cursing. He was everything you ever heard about a coach that was a hard-nosed, tough SOB, browbeat you, run you to death, train you to death, gonna make you John Madden taught from love. Coach Shula taught from fear. Coach Shula would have been the guy that was in that movie Rambo. You remember that guy that trained Rambo?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's Coach Shula. Coach Shula would have been the guy who would have, cut you with a knife and tell you, don't you dare bleed. Don't you bleed. Don't you bleed.
Gotcha. All right, Coach, I want to ask you this. 1980, I know you was playing with the Dolphins. My Atlanta Falcons, that's when I became an Atlanta Falcons fan. And my favorite running back was William Andrews. Two things. Tell me a little bit about William Andrews that you know, and what happened to the Falcons when we lost to Dallas in 1980, if you can remember that.
No, William was William was a different running back. People wouldn't want to say he's a great running back, but William would have been a great running back. You know what happens to us is, just like Marcus Allen, I told you guys a minute ago, Al Davis didn't want to draft Marcus because Al didn't think he was big enough, strong enough, certainly didn't think he was fast enough. And the thing that he wasn't fast enough, Al didn't like him, And I tell you how Al used to put it. Man, y'all want to draft that guy? Oh man, listen, I'm trying to go to Super Bowl on a 747 jet. You guys trying to ride on a Greyhound bus. And that was his theory that was Al's theory when you was comparing a guy that had speed and a guy that didn't have speed. And that was the thing with William Andrews. William had great balance, great feet, great eyes, could see it all, strong, gonna be there every week, gonna get you them tough yards, you know what I mean? But he wasn't a home run hitter. And that's why he was never looked at as a great one. But when he was in Atlanta, he absolutely fit the Atlanta style and what they were doing in Atlanta. And was just a great, just a great player, And Atlanta had a lot of those guys like that who were great players. There wasn't great to that other side, but they were really, really good football players. Yeah. And then when you ask what happened, when they lost to the Cowboys, again, remember back in the 80s, man, the Cowboys was rocking and rolling. A lot of people lost.